Hey everyone, this is your OG, and this is another Godforge video. Today we'll be doing another future focus. This time looking at the top 5 possible heroes for the Izumu faction, that's Japanese mythology. Now this means that these are figures we've not seen in the game, but we think might be interesting additions in the future. We have some really fun heroes for you today, so without further ado, let's optimize. Alright, so we are going to start out with what we're calling our givens. These kitsune foxes have been hinted at, talked about, leaked towards in other artwork of heroes we've actually seen come into the game. I think Amaterasu has sort of a fox as part of her artwork and as part of her what she's wearing. But kitsune foxes are going to be our given for this faction. Okay, so what are they? They're iconic fox spirits. There were 2 different types, if you were. A Zenko, which was the good foxes, and they served Inari Okami, the deity of rice and prosperity. These foxes were usually white or golden and guarded shrines when not carrying out Inari's will. Often they were depicted with a sacred jewel, Hoju no Tama, representing wisdom or soul knowledge. Now, the other side of this equation was no Gitsune, or wild foxes. They were free-spirited tricksters who caused mischief, illusions. They also had Kitsunebai, which is foxfire, and they were mostly known for being responsible for possessions that caused illness or madness and required exorcisms to demand the foxes leave the body or bribing it out with tofu. So for both types of kitsune foxes, they gain a new tail every 100 years, maxing out at 9 tails, which makes them near omnipotent at that point. That increases their strength and ability. These creatures have the power to shapeshift and assume human form, although, and usually they're seen as a beautiful woman or a wise elder, but their shadows and their reflections will still be seen as foxes, and that's how they can be discovered. A kitsune wedding is when it is raining and also sunny at the same time. It was considered a supernatural omen. So this is our first, what we're calling a given. I think we're going to see kitsune foxes in the game because they've been tied to heroes we've already seen. But that is our first one. Now, that is our given. Sorry, our first one is Ryujin. Ryujin is the Japanese dragon god of the sea and storms. He's a patron of fishermen and farmers. His daughter married a hunter Prince Hori, and his grandson was Emperor Jimmu, Japan's legendary first emperor. He resides in Ryugu-jo, an underwater palace made of red and white coral and crystal, where every 1 day equals 100 years on Earth. Known for having tide jewels to control the tides, he also commands sea creatures. Turtles deliver his messages, jellyfish and fish serve him, and snakes act as his avatars. When Hori lost his brother's magic fishhook, sounds like another movie we know, Ryujin retrieved it from a sea bream's mouth. He's credited for crushing jellyfish bones, which explains why they have none, and may even have been the inspiration in Godzilla's design as a fire-breathing sea monster. So this is Ryujin, our first possible hero we could see in the future in Godforge. Really cool one at that. Next up, we see Hakumen. Hakumen is the Japanese god of war, archery. He's considered the divine protector and the patron of warriors, especially samurai. He's often depicted as a warrior or a monk and has been associated with doves, sort of like a peaceful warrior. And I think he could easily come into the game as an epic or a legendary and be a great addition to the faction. So that is our number 2, Hachiman. Right, after Hachiman, we have our very first boss possibility. Okay, so here we go. This is an interesting one. We have Kagutsuchi. Okay, he's the Japanese god of fire and destruction. such that his birth burned and killed his mother, Izanami, who we know is in the game, and his father, Izanagi, who we also believe might be in the game, or have seen artwork of him. So he decapitated Kagutsuchi for killing his mother, even though I guess maybe he was just born. And his blood and sparks from him after that decapitation birthed dozens of new kami, is what they're called, so like new beings. And he represents fire's destructive but essential power. So here's how we can see this as a boss possibility. You come up and here's Kagutsuchi, and he's big and he's a fire. He has a lot of fire attributes to him and looks awesome. And then as we progress, perhaps his lore plays in and you're able to cut his head off or decapitate him, sort of Hydra style, but that releases the sparks and the blood and basically creates a whole slew of minions, whether it be spider-like for that regard, or just be flaming blood and puts bleeds on, or blaze and bleeds could be cool. And so maybe he transforms if you hit a certain point, or you hit him and you would decapitate and go against his decapitated form. So that is the idea, and then he could potentially increase in power. This is sort of like synonymous of him in his decapitated form and putting out full debuffing or blaze plus bleeds at the same time. Just an interesting thought possibility for a boss or some sort of fight in Godforge. So that is this faction's boss possibility. And we will move forward to our number 3. This is Okunushi. He is the Japanese god of nation building, medicine, and prosperity. He's a descendant of Susanoo, who we've already seen in the game and know is a powerful storm god. He endured many trials by his jealous brothers, so it's sort of synonymous of Joseph from the sort of Middle Eastern or Jewish and what would they call that? The sort of from that area of the world. I can't think of the right word, but Joseph similarly went through many attempts by his brothers to get rid of him and sell him to slavery. So in this one, though, the trials, his jealous brothers killed him multiple times, which is interesting. So he's depicted with some scars here, obviously having survived a number of betrayals by close family members. He then went on to become the ruler of the earthly realm with the help of the hare Inaba and Sukun Bikona, the dwarf god of healing. So he built a good team, and apparently that worked for him. He built the land before ceding it to Amaterasu's descendants. And so he basically prepped it for humanity and set it up for us and paid the sacrifice for us. So this is our number 3 pick, is Okun Inushi. That is, I think, a very interesting one that hopefully we will see as well. Now, the next one I really like a lot. Our number 4 pick, Tsukuyomi no Mikoto, the moon god. And we don't see a lot of male moon deities in most cultures, so I really found this one interesting. A moon god of order and isolation, he is one of Japan's 3 noble children born from Izanagi's purification ritual after escaping Yomi, or the underworld. He sprang from Izanagi's right eye during his cleanse in the Takabana River. As a god of the moon, the night, and ritual propriety, he embodies a stoic nature, but his violent act against a food goddess, Uke Mochi, forever severed him from the sun and created the day-night cycle. Now, like I said, he's a rare male moon deity, as most cultures had female representatives for the moon. Amaterasu, the sun goddess, sent Tsukuyomi to Earth to visit Yukimochi, the food goddess, and Yukimochi created food by vomiting fish and game and rice, which horrified Tsukuyomi, and he killed her while declaring her offerings to be filth. Her death birthed staple crops such as rice, millet, beans, wheat, and soy. While this links the moon to farming, his sudden violence enraged Amaterasu, the sun goddess, and there was a permanent separation was decreed. She said, "You are darkness, I am light, we shall never meet again." So this is a really interesting character, and hopefully one we may see in Godforge. Okay, so now we are getting to our honorable mentions. Our first honorable mention is Yamauba. This is a cannibalistic witch type creature from the mountains. Seems like a really cool character that could be possibly included, maybe a rare or even an uncommon or common, and could be interesting. Also, this one we found interesting. Sukumongami is when household items gain spirit after 100 years and have their own sort of life to them. I don't know if that could be incorporated into the game, but I wanted to include that as a honorable mention. So those are your two honorable mentions. Okay. Moving forward, this is sort of a honorable mention plus. This is a mini game idea. So this is Cubico. He's the scarecrow god of wisdom and agriculture. He cannot walk. He's like rooted to the ground, but he knows everything that's happening in the world. So maybe this is a mini game where you have to like pull the different ropes or climb him in a certain way, or there's strategy or something. There could be a really cool mini game, and if you get to, I don't know, his mouth or the top or whatever, you're able to glean or gain some information or wisdom that would help you. Or maybe you get scrolls. Maybe this could be where you farm scrolls, because that's like knowledge, right? But this could be an interesting sort of honorable mention minigame or boss possibility, I guess, as well. It's Cubico. All right, so I just wanted to throw that one in there before we hit our very last number 5. This is Ame no Izumu. She is the Shinto goddess of dawn, mirth, meditation, and the performing arts. Known as the Great Persuader, she embodies joy, creativity, and the transformative power of laughter. As the goddess of the dawn, she also symbolizes the first light, renewal, and hope. So obviously she could be an invoker, she could be a disruptor. There's a lot of ways, sort of like a Loki. She's sort of a trickster because she likes using comedy and satire. She's credited for inventing ritual dance called kagura, comedy in general, and theatrical traditions like kyogen, which is satire, plays that are satire as well. Depicted with a lot of skin showing, it said in the research, it was representative of her vitality and life force, and she's also associated with mirrors, and we'll talk about that in the lore, but they reflect light and divine presence. She's also associated with an overturned tub where she does perform her dance, and that's her dance platform. She's also associated with several plants, including moss, bamboo, and sakaki leaves. In the myth of the heavenly rock cave, Amaterasu, the sun goddess, was hiding in a cave after a conflict with her brother Susanoo, the storm god. This, of course, plunged the world into darkness. Amino, as I'll call her here, just to make it easier on myself, Amino saved the world by performing a ridiculous dance on the top of an overturned tub, causing the gods to laugh so loud that Amaterasu's curiosity was piqued. Amino hung a mirror and a jade jewel to further spark Amaterasu's interest, and when she left the cave to sea, the other gods sealed it up, restoring light to the world. She's best known as a symbol of feminine power who uses wit to solve crises, not brute force, which challenged patriarchal norms and then thus led to her gaining a sort of trickster archetype who revealed truths through humor and subversion. She shares a similar mythos plot to Eos from the Greek mythology or Aurora from the Roman pantheon. All right, so that is a really interesting one as well. All right, well, that just about wraps things up for us on this video. What did you think of our picks from the heroes, gods, or figures from the Japanese mythos, Izumu? Let me know in the comments below if we missed someone, or if you liked anyone we picked. While engaging, be sure to like and subscribe, as it actually helps me to be seen favorably by the algorithm gods and not get smited, smoted, smitten, whatever happens when it isn't liked. So thanks for sticking with me all the way through this one. And be sure to take care of yourself. Remember, play smarter.